Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to CrossFit Central 101. My name is Chris, and today joining me we have
Keelan.
and we're going to be watching some Tyler Johnson with you guys today. He is a fourth-year senior wide receiver from Minnesota, listed officially as of the combine at 6'1" and 3/8 inches, 206 pounds, 9-inch hands, 30 and 7/8 inch arms, and 75-inch wingspan. So, do you have any concerns about the measurables before we get started with the film?
The hands seem slightly small. The arms seem slightly short. Just a little slight.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he definitely seems to be a little bit more of your bigger slot. I don't necessarily want to qualify him as a big slot because that's getting into like your Pittmans, but definitely seems to be a little bit on the smaller side for an X receiver. But we'll make that determination, of course, when we get into film as well. So, have you
Right.
ever watched any Tyler Johnson?
I have not. I've seen him in game, but I wasn't. And it says at the bottom that it was confirmed with an NFL source that there's no character concern. But there's some stuff I've heard that will compare his personality to one of Antonio Brown's. I don't know how credible that is, but that's just something that you should maybe look forward to as we head towards the draft.
That seems interesting. I don't know how much I necessarily buy that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not really too worried about that at this point.
Right.
So if that ends up coming up and actually becoming credible as time goes on, I guess that's something to worry about. But we'll see. I'll probably mark him down a point or two at the end, I suppose, just in case.
Okay.
But yeah, he does have a little bit of an injury history, nothing major. It says no known injuries, but literally says missed 2 games due to injury, so I don't know what that's about. So, do you have any particular games? I'm thinking Iowa, Iowa, Auburn, and Wisconsin sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Cool. So I'm actually going to save that. Start with Iowa, I suppose. Pretty sure, unless something changes and I ask someone, this will probably be the last video on a receiver for this class. Until the Lions draft, one that I haven't done a video on, of course. Because we all know that's what's going to happen. Probably Duvernay.
Potentially.
Okay, so he is number 6. Yep, there you start him out in the slot. So that's most likely going to be his role. Okay, nice job using the hands to create the separation there. Yeah, even inside there. Okay, nice good clinch out. Okay, nice angle. I'd like to see him be a little bit more engaged, but engaged in that context, I mean, like actual hands, not effort. Yeah, same thing, doesn't really like the effort. Could probably polish that technique up a little bit, but it's fine. I like the motor on his routes as well, so it's definitely not really a concern for me either. Seems to be running them all the routes regardless of possession. Would like to see a little bit more feel for the space on this last play. Let's see him kind of run through this contact. I'd like to see him try and work his way around that a little bit more and kind of find feel for that space. Because that really delayed his route. And ended up working out for the other receiver, but Okay, yep. Nice angle. I'd like to see him stay in front with that leverage a little bit more, but I like the effort. Nice curl. Get her out. Nice team's catch. Oh, okay. I like that from 13. I don't remember where Johnson was. It must have been the further. Let's see where the one was. Definitely lining him up in the slot, so it seems as though our conclusion at the beginning of the video was correct. A little bit too much maneuvering here. If there were pressure on this play, that wouldn't have worked. He's taking a little bit too much eating. Yeah, see, he's waiting for this throw. He's about to throw on, and he hasn't even gotten on his. So I'd like to see a little bit more urgency in the right zone from him. Allows the defender to time that throw also. Okay, yeah, nice angle. Just really needs to work on that level, that leverage. Nice feel for space that time, though. Good job adjusting and finding the open area. That was much better, too. This is what I wanted to. Oh, that was a great catch. This is what I wanted to see on that last play. Watch how he kind of slips in underneath, even at this point in the play. He's finding that area between the two defenders, and then he slides right through. That's more of what I was looking for when I was talking about that kind of feel for space. And it ends up working out for him, too, because he's able to slip through and create that separation through that. Which is why that's such an important skill for me. Whereas on the last play, he had to go to a different receiver because he wasn't able to maximize that space effectively. Yes. Oh, nice double move. A bit long developing, but that's kind of the risk you take with the play call. Gotta catch that. Yep, same thing there. Much better feel for space. Nice. Good timing. I like that decision to come back inside. I don't know if that was planned. Oh, yeah, he got held really badly. Definitely worthy of the flag. One thing I am a little bit concerned about so far, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it seems like a lot of his routes so far have been shallow underneath or vertical stems.
Yeah, I started to notice that too. It doesn't seem like his route tree has fully been developed thus far.
Oh, it's a little bit more intermediate range. I like the effort in the blocking, just really want to get him working on staying square. That was beautiful. I got him a vertical route, but I love the way he was able to utilize that field for space. I've talked about that a lot in this video already. Watch, he undercuts this a little bit to get that inside leverage. And then right there, he cuts that straight up field to avoid that defender. And watch how he's able to use that to create that space between him and 28. And that directly leads to that separation creation down the field and the easy touchdown grab. And if that were even farther, I end zone, he would have still gotten there by outrunning the other 3 defenders. And it's all set up by this real cut at this point in the play, about the 22-yard line. He cuts that upfield to maximize that space between him and 28, and even this defender over the top. And it really separates him. That's what, good 3 yards of separation?
Very nice.
That's all set up by that zone awareness and coverage recognition. That's really, really nicely done. A little bit more patience there, which is good. Just wish he would have kept that contained. Here's concept. Outside. Interesting. Okay. Ended up working out. Another vertical stem, which is predominantly what it seems like he's been running to the most degree here. I like that outside release move though. Able to create a little bit of space just using his legs. Even on a pretty predictable route like a vert. Okay. That was a little bit more intermediate. Rounded in. Nice slant. You gotta catch that, but I like the route. Boom, that was a nice quick cut. And again maximizes the separation with his feet. So we've seen the ability to create that separation and leverage with his hands as well as his feet so far. And maximizing his space with his mental traits. So definitely strong in those areas. Nice outside release. Been playing him pretty soft. I don't remember for sure if that's an Iowa specific thing. We'll probably figure that out when we get into the other 2 games, but just an interesting observation. And it tends to, oh, that was a nice route. Really get to see that intermediate impact here. Love how he splits those defenders as well. Very nice. But yeah, I think that I wouldn't be surprised if that's an Iowa specific thing. There, they finally play him a little bit harder. But yeah, they definitely seem to be playing more toward that vertical stem with that soft coverage. He has the slant to him though, which is nice. It gives you a little bit more diversification in your portfolio. That was nice. Again, you get to see that rounding in route. So he has a little bit of intermediate to his game, just not most frequent or most dynamic. Okay, clutch time. See if they go to one here. Nice play by Abinesa. Was he inside?
It appears so.
Yep, he was literally at 1 tech. That's where he's going to find success in the NFL. Maybe not that far inside, but... Oh. Okay, yeah, at this point you're 4th and 21, 53 seconds down by 4, run vert. Yeah. So there you go, thoughts on the first game.
I think he's a very interesting prospect. From the minimal routes he runs, I think he's a very good route runner. His footwork and his ability to, I don't know, create separation is sort of,
Maximize.
yeah. Um, his hands look pretty decent. His route tree is the one thing that is sort of something I'm going to look for in the next couple of games. See if that sort of
Diversifies.
there's just more variety, I guess, which will be interesting to see.
Cool. So here we go, this is game number 2 versus Wisconsin. Any thoughts on his athletic abilities from what you've seen so far?
He seems like, did he? I don't think he tested, but if he tested, I feel like he would have been more like a 4-5 guy, 4-5-4. I want to say.
So about the same
Right.
as Pittman,
Yeah.
except maybe without the explosiveness or the
Yeah.
agility.
So I feel like he would have tested all right. It wouldn't have been like elite numbers, but I think it would have been okay. I think he's decently athletic.
That was nice. I like again the hand usage. I talked about this in the last game. His ability to create separation not only with the hands or with the feet, but also diversify that a little bit with the mental awareness. And then on this play, you get to see him with that swipe move to maximize that, and then he's able to utilize that to create that outside leverage on the out route. Rounded cut, so didn't necessarily get to see a hard dagger, but definitely a option for him. That was again a little bit more of a rounded route. I like the feel for space and his adjustment throughout this play. You really get to see him say, okay, this guy's going to move back a little bit, this guy's staying a little bit more inside, so taking the open space underneath into the outside makes a lot more sense here. Again, just recognition of that coverage and ability to create, extend that play. Next hitch. Get a quick route. Still pretty fine without any stuff. I'm not really too worried about his suddenness. It's more so about the repetition level and
Yeah.
oh, okay. Again, I like that feel for space. And it basically directly leads to that catch, well, attempted catch. And I got deflected by but he does a really nice job again of staying in that soft spot. Just have to trust that quarterback to get that pull over the top. Yeah, he definitely did not get that over the top. Oh, he didn't miss it though, to be fair. That was a catchable pass. Okay, again, nice little soft cut. He's still a little hesitant versus that press coverage. Like something I expect to see a lot more of against pro corners, especially if he's going to be continued usage in the slot. Just seeing more of that press, but so you do want to work a little bit more on sharpening that release and maximizing his quickness directly at the little line of scrimmage at the snap point. Part of that could be utilizing a couple more spin routes and getting him the ball underneath instead of having to beat that press off the line and utilize that slant. That was nice. Good timing. Not the best throw, but I do like the route concept on this play. Oh, that's because he was throwing back for it under pressure. he did a pretty nice job of maximizing that space. Nice. Short, yep, good.
This is a very interesting camera angle.
I like it. It really helps with receivers.
It does, yeah. I do like it.
So I like the way that he sells this vertical here in the line of scrimmage. He continues, and then when he gets a couple yards upfield is when he initiates that contact. It's a possible penalty, but they're not going to call that, I don't think. And they didn't in that play. I'm pretty sure this is just finger ball 22. Nice catch. Okay, lined up outside. Yeah, you really get to see that hand usage, so it's a lot more sudden. But he wasn't able to maximize that space after. So watch, he does a really nice shove with that release move with the hands, but he's not able to finish and extend this play and continue moving down the field, partially because that's a quick throw. He was a little bit rushed, the quarterback was. But yeah, I would like to see a little bit more activity after that initial win. Still, I really like that first initial phase of the play. Nice inside. Good. Good move by him. Yep, same thing. Really nice setup for that screen. Nice inside win. And then, oh, that was really nice. I like that outside counter. It was great.
Can you do me a favor and rewind that really quickly? Very nice. Sorry, I just missed the last part of the route on the first time.
Yeah, so he initially wins this on the inside move here. But then what he's able to do is redirect. He has this corner off balance. He's able to redirect outside. And he has, if the quarterback had the time, tons of that space all in the boundary area. Oh. Nice. Good inside wing. Inside, yep, good. Side move, very nice. Inside. Oh, that's a dumb play call. It worked. Oh no, it didn't. That could again factor into the hand size thing too. Is those contested catch situations, he's not going to be your contested catch T. Higgins, Michael Pittman.
Right. Yeah.
Which is why I initially wanted him, and they ran the outside move again. This is, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. If you're going to use Tyler Johnson in the red zone, you most likely want him running something like a slant or a curl, so you can create that vertical release move, but then you can get him to redirect without moving toward the boundary, because the boundary obviously limits that open space, especially when you're laying him up outside on the hash. You really want to maximize the maximum amount of space you can give him in the entire area. So instead of sending him outward on this play, like they did on literally both plays so far, I want him running something where he comes back, like a comeback route even, or a curl route, or something that gets him inside, whether that be a drag across the middle for a quick route, or a slant to maximize the middle of the end zone. Because what ends up happening here is he's not able to create that separation on this outside release move. According to this really nice shot on both plays with staying tight, and there's no way he's going to be able to win that contested catch. So you just basically threw away 2 plays inside the 5-yard line. And now you're at 4th and goal, and you literally ran. Oh, that was the same play. Why would you run that on 4th and goal? I get you're trying to isolate, but he's not an isolation receiver. That's frustrating mismanagement.
Chris Robbins for Minnesota OC 2020.
At this point, I don't know what he's running. Yeah, he's taking that inside. That's fine. He was wide open the entire course of the play. The other receiver. Same thing, wants to do that inside a little bit more, but it's the wrong play. Inside, nice angle. There you go. The more he's able to run over the middle of the field, the better. Because you're putting him in space that maximizes. Curl, come back. Okay. Side. Interesting. Yeah, I don't like him using X or Z because you're really limiting his. That was nice. Good seam route. Nice. Good concept. Yep, just stretch. What? Why did he not read? Does he read Johnson at all on this play? Does he not see that this defender is coming downhill? Because there's no way this linebacker that's lined up in the box is going to be able to catch up with Tyler Johnson down the seam. And those 2 guys are either zone on those guys and they're probably going to carry, or they're an off man.
What the hell?
It looks like they're in zone based on how far back he dropped. So if you know that he's running across the middle of the field, your only concern here is the safety, and there's no way he's able to catch up to come across here. I have no idea why he went off that read, especially knowing that he literally has leverage. Like, are you really expecting at this point in the play, especially, this receiver to fight through that contact? Unless the only goal here is to draw DPI, you have him, and at this point he's even shot further back, and he's angled out. So your real only concern at this point is that he somehow undercuts this route, which I don't see happening, or he ends up coming off of that, or he ends up coming across. He is wide open for literally a touchdown. And he was open from the very beginning. That's on the quarterback. That's not on the coaches.
Yeah.
That was frustratingly early. He either needs to undercut this coverage and take this a couple yards short to undercut that, or he needs to go a little bit further downfield and go around that coverage. That's again that feel for space we talked about. At least he did a nice job going around him and staying tight to the route, but it's kind of one of those feel instinctual things. I'm getting incredibly picky the more this video goes on and the more we see of him. That was nice. That was nice. Again, the kind of thing that you want to see. And it ends up working out because of it. Better. And that's a usage thing. This is exactly what I want to see more of from both the quarterback and the OC. And none of this is against Tyler, right? Because he's running the routes that he's being signed and told to run. So it's kind of not entirely his fault. But like on this play, right, you get to see 15-yard-ish throw, probably a little bit more because he's not right on the boundary when he catches this. But he's able to maximize the separation, and they get him into that open space in the middle of the field. That's the best way that you can utilize him, is maximizing his ability to have open space on both ends. And it's an easy throw. Easy throw. Same thing here. Why did he go off of that read? Oh, okay. He just underthrew it. Inside. Yep, good. Okay, at least he threw an open receiver. Same thing. Understood. Yep, good. Was that incomplete? I'm gonna let you explain this. What is wrong with this play? There's something wrong with this play. I want, at least in my opinion, I want you to see if you can figure it out.
Play it back one more time, please. First of all, I'm gonna watch. Okay, so it looks like Tyler's wide open for one. Second of all, or whomever the receiver is, has the beat on the
Has what on?
defensive back. Has the step on, or multiple steps on the DB, and he throws into tight coverage with multiple.
Yeah, you can argue multiple because they're all kind of in that
Yeah.
vicinity. Exactly. Yes. And not only Tyler Johnson, who you mentioned, but this guy is wide open. And it looks like this receiver on the outside here is also running an underneath route, which he's able to maximize that separation on a curl because that defender is moving backwards. And a drop, seeing the verticals on the inside. He literally throws it to the only guy who is being contested. Oh. I mean, on the bright side, it's not like he's drastically missing open throws because I've seen quarterbacks do that. Hint, hint, Jalen Rieger tape. But, like, the decision making is so underrated.
Rip.
And on that play, I could argue he doesn't deserve the target because you have a wide open underneath receiver, and this guy has the And there's not even like you have the referee in the way, but this defender's not going to undercut a route that's at the left hash. I'm not even sure I want to watch the third game at this point. Do you want to keep going or no?
Up to you. It's sort of frustrating.
Yes. And I think I've kind of seen consistencies.
Right.
From the two games.
Yeah. I agree. We're cool. I'm cool with these two.
if I want to watch a third game down the line, maybe when the Lions draft him, if that happens, I might end up getting around to that.
Yeah.
But so getting to the green portion of this, other than the one play I talked about at the very, very beginning, he did a pretty nice job with the coverage recognition. And his biggest weakness to me was probably the, in general, lack of that route variance. Would you tend to agree with that?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, so 2 games we watched were Iowa 19 and Wisconsin 19.
Yep.
And I may end up getting to a third game at some point, probably off camera, but
Right.
not today. I'm done. So hands and contested catching, I'm gonna say we're an 8, mainly because he's not a contested. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with 7 because he doesn't have the contested catching ability. Pretty
Yeah.
solid hands, which is why he gets all the way up to a 7. But his contested catching skills are probably closer to like a 5. So 9-5, that's balancing out to about a 7. Athleticism, same thing, probably about a 7. Not really spectacular, but he definitely has sufficient technical build around, I would say, athleticism. And if I had to guess his RAS score, I'd probably guess in the 7 to 8 range. Route running ability is going to be I'm going to go with the 7-2 because I did like his actual route running technique, which is part of that. So he did a pretty nice job of maximizing the footwork, the slants, the suddenness on the routes. I do want to see a little bit more of a hard cut on those more sudden routes, but he did a really nice job with the speed cut, and he did a pretty nice job with the slight move changes as well to kind of maximize that space he was able to create on not so good routes, if you know what I mean. Routes
Yeah.
where you're not necessarily separation based, but you're trying to give yourself more of a window. I feel like he did a pretty nice job with that. Running after catch, we didn't really get to see a lot, but I think it's pretty safe to say it's an 8 or a 9 based on what we were able to see. So I'm going to go with an 8. I feel like he has the athleticism to kind of extend plays. He has enough separation ability to maximize his ability to create after the catch. Loose moves were nice. I'm considering going with a 10, but that little bit of I do want him to be a little bit more urgent in the red zone in that particular area. So I may end up bumping that up down the line as well. But I really like his ability to maximize on those vertical stems. Just in the red zone, you have to be a little bit more urgent, especially in tight set box situations in which you know your quarterback is going to be under pressure. So a little bit more of an urgency and a little bit less extra, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
Jordan Loomis was great, other than that 1 or 2 maybe plays that we talked about. Really got to see him feel for that space, and he did a really nice job of showcasing that, especially on the All-22 film. Same thing with the motor and blocking, really nice job. Refinement, I'm going to say marks him down a little bit. I want to see him just stay a little bit more square in terms of staying in front of defenders throughout the course of the play and staying engaged throughout the course of the play. But I love the motor, I love the effort, I love the blocking, upside and potential, so I'm going to give him a solid 9 there. Short threat was great. Mid threat, not so much, but still not bad. And then deep threat, same thing. Contested catching, I took a couple of points off here, but anyway, he has the ability to run those deep routes. So, while I am calculating my score, I'll let you go over your categories and your
Cool.
opinion on my grades.
All right. So just taking a look at yours here. Yeah, I think you have it pretty much spot on. I feel like from what we didn't really see run after a catch, so I gave him a slightly less of a grade than you did. Probably, I think just one less than you. So it's fair. I think for the most part we're pretty similar. I'm just gonna calculate.
So I ended up giving him an 82. What are your thoughts on that?
82 is actually a bit higher than I have him. Actually, I got him at a 73.
Oh, okay. So you already talked a little bit about the run after catch ability. Anything else that really sticks out to you?
Not really. I feel like comparing grades, it's like just a lot of them you have like maybe only one or two higher than me. A lot of them are similar, but otherwise, some of them are just like slightly higher than what I gave him. So, all in all, it's not too much different. Rather than I did give him 9 less than you, I believe. Is you said 82, right?
Yeah.
9 less points, but it wasn't anything drastic of a difference individually.
Interesting. So you gave him like, well, I mean, how about you just go through yours then? And I know you do it's probably slightly different than me.
Right.
I'm just curious how you got to a 73 because that's like a 2-round difference for me.
Is it? Just one second.
Yeah, because the 73 for me, I think was like a fourth, like a mid fourth, and I gave him like a mid second.
Okay. So, let me just get going.
You probably give him a little bit lower in zone awareness and betting. You probably give him a little bit lower in blocking.
Yeah. Just I closed out of the tab, so I had to re-find it.
Ah. I probably should bump that down to a 9. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I thought he had like some of the most missed tackles though too.
So, yeah, for me, I gave, most notably, you gave him a 10 in zone awareness, if I remember correctly, or did that the
Yeah,
one
I
you know?
was just gonna draft it down to 9.
I gave him, what did I give him? I think I gave him a 7.
Oh wow, really?
7 or an 8. My internet's being pretty slow, so it's just refusing to do anything, so.
I'm curious what you didn't like about him that I did.
I feel
In that
like
area.
I just noticed that perhaps maybe you graded him in a different category for this, but when he ran his routes, I would prefer him to be more aware of, I guess, the depth of the defender. Whether he cuts it short, a couple yards short, or cut his routes a couple yards short, or extends them. I don't like it didn't like it too much when he cut it too close to the defender, and I would have preferred that to be more.
So more of a depth issue?
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm moving down another point for that. For me, that definitely counts as part of that, which I'm glad you brought up because I was more so paying attention to, and I generally do tend to pay more attention to the inside outside
Right.
rather than depth.
Yeah.
So it's more so like, can you avoid the contact?
Mm-hmm.
Can you get around a defender, or like making sure that you are able to maximize that leverage and maximize the spacing.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so yeah, that's since I'm done doing 80. Anything else?
Nothing too big. I feel like at the beginning that was probably our biggest disagreement, but now that you've lowered it, it's a bit different. But for the most part, our grades are fairly similar individually.
Do that.
From what I don't think I would I'm not gonna act like perhaps his off the field is totally like accurate because I'm not too familiar with the source.
Oh, yeah, I don't even have a grade for that on here for receivers. I guess I'd probably just consider that motor.
Fair. But I don't know if I wouldn't draft him before day 3 personally.
Yeah, I just dropped him to a red area. 78. I didn't say I was going to do that. Oh well. I need to change that to a white. Cool. So, oh, and apparently it's a yellow. It should not be. It should be a red too. Okay, so yeah, after a little bit more further discussion points, I ended up dropping him to a 78. Definitely some things to like about him. I like his upside. I like his ability to play out of the slot, be more of a an interior middle of the field slot. Someone who can kind of make those plays on those slants and extend. But I feel like he is kind of more of a niche player. You're not going to be able to, and that's not necessarily a good thing in his context. I think it's a little bit more limiting in his versatility. Whereas like with Prochet, like he's great in a specific role, or Hamler is amazing in a specific role. With Johnson, I feel like he's kind of a little bit of a master of, or not a master of none, but like kind of like a jack of all trades type. And most of his value is probably going to be coming from winning those release moves and short to deep parts of the field. And I'm not sure how much I trust him to, I guess, create separation. He does a pretty good job of maximizing separation and finding those areas in which he can turn natural leverage into space, but I'm not sure about how much he's able to create space on his own. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's probably my biggest concern for me, especially as someone who's not really a contested catch guy. And, yeah, I could definitely see him finding a spot on day 3 somewhere.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts you want to go over before we wrap this one up?
I think we covered it for the most part.
Cool. Well, with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, learned a thing or two along the way. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this over the course of the next coming days, weeks, and month and a half leading into the draft. We have a couple of other videos I have planned. We haven't recorded yet. But as of now, I have about a player per day scheduled. So, like, in terms of guys I want to record scheduled, not scheduled on YouTube yet. So we'll see how that ends up working out. Hopefully it ends up working out well. I have a couple other personal things I need to take care of too. So definitely feel free to come back and check back every day or two and see if those videos are getting posted. But for now, hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, whatever day it is that you're watching this, and peace out.